answer to be according to your list?
No, doesn't matter. According to you, who is a leader?
Leader one who serve others.
Okay. Toastmaster Nagarajan?
One who has more followers than the leaders.
Okay, Toastmaster Bala?
Leader is one who leads the other people in areas of vision and gets them motivated. He is a leader.
Exactly.
Who motivates others.
That's right. Every organization has huge responsibilities and well-defined roles. And a leader is a person who makes it a reality. But can leaders achieve these tasks alone? Is it possible for him to single-handedly do everything?
No.
No, it's not possible. To become an empowered or an effective leader, he must rely on others to carry out specific tasks or activities. Think of yourself as a major head or the head of a major corporation. Will you be able to manage the entire company on your own? I don't think so. So you will have to rely on your vice presidents to oversee the different operations that take place in the company. And the vice presidents, in turn, rely on the department managers to see what is happening in the company. And if the corporation is successful, you can attribute the success to a leader who has delegated effectively. So dear Toastmasters, what is delegation? Delegation is the process of transferring the responsibility to another of a specific task or activity to another member and empowering that individual to accomplish the task effectively. Leaders do not accomplish tasks by working harder and working longer. They accomplish tasks by letting others do the work. So, but even if this is the case, even if delegation can lead to a lot of success, there are some factors that hinder leaders from, delegating to other people. There are some factors that make them hesitant to delegate. Can you tell me some reasons why leaders hesitate to delegate? Yes, please, Jen.
Because some leaders think that they can only do it better.
Exactly. That is one point. Yes.
Sense of insecurity.
Exactly.
They might take over a leader may not have it.
Very good points, very valid points. Those are the points that I wanted to tell you. First of all, lack of confidence. Some leaders simply do not believe that their team members have the potential or the ability to carry out a task very well. They do not have the belief in them. Secondly, they fear. They are afraid that they will lose their authority and control. Third, vanity. Some leaders just don't want to share credit. They don't want others to take credit from them and think of themselves as big bosses. Insecurity, like Toastmaster Guna said, they feel insecure that what if the team member does pretty well and then he snatches away my job? So that is another insecure feeling that a leader might have. And lastly, like Charity said, self-importance. He thinks that he can do everything by himself, then what is the whole point of delegating? So, but we should keep in mind that leaders reach their leadership position also because of their own skills and abilities. So, they do not want to tamper their reputation by delegating. They will think, they might have the fear that if I delegate and if I put the responsibility on somebody else, and what if they don't do well? I might be tampering my reputation. So that fear in them can possibly prevent them from delegation. But all these things can be minimized by delegating skillfully. So how do we go about it? There are various steps, and 5 steps are the prominent steps in the delegation process. The first one is decide what to delegate. First of all, you need to make a list of tasks which need to be done and decide which tasks can be done by others. Then you go about deciding who will do the task. You should match the responsibilities according to a team member's potential. Only if you feel that a team member has the potential to do a particular task, you should assign that task to them, else don't do it. Thirdly, assign responsibility. Once you have decided whom you can select to do the particular task, you should assign the responsibility be 5 members. But if we don't provide her with the necessary funds or the club doesn't show any interest, maybe she will not be able to go ahead with the procedures. So she should be given the authority and the resources so that she can carry out her task effectively. Finally, establish accountability. Towards the end, you should ensure that whomever you have delegated, whomever you have assigned the task, should not back out, should feel responsible that he has taken up the job and he should do it. So these are the delegation steps that we should keep in mind. Now, after all this, we should choose the right people. There is no harm in spending a lot of time. You should think clearly and critically evaluate the person whom you are choosing. Because if you don't choose the right person and if you end up choosing the wrong person, it can be a frustration for yourself as well as for the team member, because both of you do not go together. So you need to keep some things in mind, like 3 things before selecting the right person. First of all, he should be knowledgeable. He should have an idea about the task that he has doing. He should know what it is about. Secondly, he should be motivated. The person whom you are assigning the task may be knowledgeable, but if he is not in line with the leader's goal or vision, then he might not put in as much effort as he can. And lastly, he should be able. If the person is knowledgeable and motivated, but still he has a lot of other commitments, he has a lot of other responsibilities that he cannot really concentrate on what the leader's goals are. Apart from the leader's goals, if he has a lot of other responsibilities, then he will not be able to fulfill his role to the full extent. So these are 3 points that we should keep in mind before choosing the right people. Now, we need to communicate to them. Communication is a vital process throughout the delegation. We need to tell them clearly what they are expected to do. That is, the first stage is describe the tasks that they are expected to do. Tell them clearly, communicate to them, answer their queries if at all they have any, if there is any clarification that is needed. And even if you could also tell them who their team members are and what their duties are, so that he can get an overall idea about the entire task and the role of different team members. The second one is agree on standards and timetables. You should always stick on to the timetable and complete the assigned task within the required time. Identify training needs. If any team member requires any special training or any need, provide it to him so that he can execute the task effectively. Identify resources. Tell him these are the materials that are available, this is the information, these are the resources, and this is what you are expected to do. So you need to tell him what if he has any training needs, you need to address it, and if he has, and tell him the resources that are allocated for the entire process. Prepare a report timetable. Every leader knows that that he wants to know your success as well as your problems so that you can provide the necessary feedback to him. So if you fail in this particular process, then you might not get the expected results because you have not checked regularly or monitored their progress. Now, after this follow-up process, the next thing that you need to do is, once you have got all your tasks ready and in hand, you should recognize that person. Take some time and recognize that person for whatever he or she has done. Tell him that whatever he or she has done meant a lot to the organization, and if he had not done so, this particular process would not have been complete. By motivating a team member, you provide him the encouragement so that he carries on, he works better in the future tasks, and it will also be a source of motivation for other team members. If they know that their leader is somebody who is motivating, they will also get motivated to work better next time. Then we have some benefits of delegation. Though delegation is a carefully thought out and well-planned activity, it has certain benefits associated to it as well. You have a more involved and empowered workforce, increased productivity and quality, reduced costs, more innovation, greater commitment,